going on, Tottenham community? My name is Leo Coys. I'm part of Colorado Spurs, and I'm a diehard Tottenham Hotspur fan. And I'm joined by my homie, the one and only. In case you haven't caught him on Parker's pitch, he's right here in the flesh, part of the only podcast that's 5,280 feet above sea level. It is Mile High Hotspur. How you guys doing?
What's up, Leo? I'm doing fantastic, man. What an intro that was, too.
Hey man, sometimes you gotta progress, baby. We gotta progress, and that's what we're doing here at Mile High.
Love it.
Bro, we have guests that are out of this. I mean, for me, they're out of this world. I hold these guys up here, bro, and everybody else should too. They are two of not just Tottenham Hotspur related podcasts, but also to the European football world. You know what I mean? These two guys are really making some big noise. But before we get into anything like that, bro, I just want to take a couple of seconds and just a little public service announcement. My brother and his family are going through some hard times. They have a dog that was an ex-service dog, and they're actually going to put him to sleep on Friday. So if you guys would, in the comments, just, give him a big up, just a heartfelt message, whatever it is you guys can. But, just let him know that, after every storm, there's a sunny day. And I just want to put up this little video for him.
Yeah,
there you go.
He's a good dog. I met him at 4th of July. He was a really good dog. Such a sweet guy. So off you go, Churro. That was Mile High Hotspur saying to you, thank you for your service, and get some rest, buddy. We love you, and we're gonna miss you. Now back to the business at hand. Parker, how you doing today, bro? How's your week been going? We're kind of in that hump week. We're in that hump day, so Spurs are closer now than they were Monday. How's the energy? How's this going for you, bro? How you feeling? Yeah, I mean, I'm chomping at the bit. I want to watch that game on what is it, Sunday, right? It's Sunday. Yeah, so it's even farther away. I mean, but yeah, I'm excited for it. It's one of those games that we have to win, right? So I'm expecting a W, 3 points. So I can't wait.
Yeah. Also, you guys, if this is your first time stumbling across our channel, we greatly appreciate you guys. We just invite you to follow us on Instagram at Mile High Hotspur, and that's also across all platforms too. Twitter is at Mile High Hotspur, definitely our Instagram Hotspur. I just want to take 1 second right now to go ahead and shout out the homie Dermot and everybody at THFC Till I Die, including Queen Ellie herself, Philip. Big up to you, everybody else is in. Big up to you guys over there holding it down on that side of the pond. We just want to show love to you guys and ask that you guys go and subscribe to THFC Till I Die. And again, I mean, you guys are tuned in to Mile High Hotspur. This is the only Tottenham related podcast that is a Mile High officially. So welcome. Parker, this week it's been a long week. Like I said, we're on that hump day, so we're kind of closer to the weekend than we were, starting on Monday. Every day that passes, bro, I can't wait. I cannot wait until game day. But before we go any further, I do want to say, have you gotten a chance to see anything with the Champions League draw tomorrow? There are some things going around about the different possibilities, a group of death that we might be able to avoid, or a group of death that we might not be able to avoid. Have you heard it or seen anything like that?
I saw Bayern is in our pot, right? Bayern Munich. So that's something to be concerned about. Is that right, or am I wrong on that?
No. We can be faced with them. You're not wrong about that. We definitely could be faced with them. Yeah. But I was seeing here like potential. We have the potential to face. Let me pull it up here. So we're actually in pot 2. Bayern Munich is in pot 1. But there is a possibility for a group of death consisting of a Real Madrid, a Tottenham, an Inter Milan, and a Celtic. Again, this is possibilities for us. It's also possibilities for Manchester City to take that spot. The best case scenario that I'm seeing here is an Eintracht Frankfurt,
a Tottenham, a Salzburg, and a Club Bruges. If you ask me, I'm going for that group.
Yeah, yeah, I think I'm pretty confident we can get out of the group even in that group of death. So
That's what's up, my homie. That's what's up,
really,
my homie. That's what's up, my homie.
I
I
really
feel the
want,
same way, brother.
yeah, like I really want to be in that group of death because then we can knock out a couple good teams right away. We don't have to face them later, and I
Yeah.
think good competition is good for us. You know what I mean? Because we don't want to play. I mean, nobody's average in the Champions League. Let me rephrase that, but it would be nice to knock some good teams out of the way. Because I'm confident in our squad. I'm confident in Conte. So
Yeah. Yeah. Also too, quick QXFI. I probably butchered that. It's easy to say. I'm sorry for butchering that. We played Nottingham Forest in Carabao Cup. I did see that. Quick man, just a little quick thoughts about that. How do you feel about that?
well, I mean, they got a ton of players this year, didn't they? So I don't know. I mean, they're kind of a question mark if you ask me. We play them this weekend too. So I don't know. I mean, they got a lot of players this season, but I think it's a team that we should beat.
Yeah, I mean, we're gonna get a first hand glimpse of them this weekend.
Yeah, I mean they're a Premier League team now, so
yeah,
it's not going to be easy. There's no easy Premier League game anymore. So
that's correct.
Yeah,
that is correct, my man. So that's what you let us know down in the comments, you guys. A big thumbs up or thumbs down. Thumbs up for the easy group or thumbs down for the group of death. Some people prefer to have an easy group stage, and some people say, hey, if you're gonna be the best, you have to beat the best. So how do you feel about that? Let us know. A thumbs up for the group, the easy group. Thumbs down for the hard group. And then too, before we move on, you know what? I was gonna wait till we have Mr. Harris, but we're gonna go ahead and bring on one half of tonight's special guest. So without any further ado, let me go ahead and pop this up. You have a couple of seconds to get ready, my homie, because it's all coming up to you. And he's here. We got something for you, my homie. We got something for you, bro. We thought if we were gonna have Flatcap EuroTalk and the Irish Hotspur, it's only fitting. It's only fitting that we do it in style.
I feel kind of probably a bit more comfortable now. Earlier, I was trying to be with the civilians like yourself, go Flatcap-less, but you've made me feel even more comfortable. I appreciate that. You guys have, kind of
Big up to you guys.
Accommodate for me.
Good shit. Good stuff.
What's up there, Dermot? I'm just gonna scroll through a couple of these comments before we get going, Jack.
Absolutely.
You gotta love the flat caps, though.
Yeah,
I kind of took it from Dave, made it my own, I could say. Weirdly, I probably practically stole it from him. And so, eventually Dave, will probably, ask me to pay dues, for that idea. But, it's the new coming back fashion, you could say, and nowadays I think the Flat Cap is coming back. I think the Flat Cap is making
Peaky Blinders, so
there you go. I think it's making.
I just want to shout out QXFI. FY. He said, Leo, I'm Kellum. Kellum, what's up? I actually did a live stream with him yesterday night on Instagram. So thank you for joining. Big up to you, my man. He's definitely wanted to be a part of the show sometime. He definitely wants to have us be on his live stream. So it's good. It's good to know that you're in the comments and tuning in, bro. We appreciate you. Let's go. Jack Kineke, he says he wants the group of death. I agree, bro. I agree.
I like that attitude. I like that attitude from Jacob earlier, and that's how I like that sort of mentality. Maybe just get the harder teams out of the way, or even just prepare yourself for harder teams later. I like that attitude.
Yep. Yeah, for sure. Spurs Talk Show Sean says, "Big up, Jacko." Dermot wants the group of death as well.
Love it.
Carl Simpsons, we're smashing everybody. I agree. In order for us to beat the best, we have to be the best. We have to beat the best. So big up. Big up to everybody for tuning in. He says, lads, my granddad wears those hats. Well, these young men here have made it they've made it their style, so we're rolling with it too.
The old-fashioned 1984 Tottenham logo.
Oh, that's class. I love yours as well. Yeah, that's a classy jacket there. Wow, you guys are kind of flexing on us today, I must say. Well done, boys. Well done. With the flat cap as well, compliments it all. Well done.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
We
Sean wants
have
the
the
group of death,
attire.
please. Okay, well, he wants the group of death. Hopefully, we could give him the group of death. Also, too, I want to give a big shout out to C Cubed. C Cubed, it's really nice to see you here. I hope everything is good with you. Welcome to our stream, C Cubed. You're always welcome. So, Mr. Jack, how you doing, my man? How is how? First of all, can I ask you a question? How did you like our intro, bro? We're debuting it today.
Loved that intro, guys. Honestly, there, especially, in the beginning, just seeing like the logo kind of pop around. Dave and I are trying to, find, kind of a, we like our intro, that 30, I think it's like 35 seconds or something like that. We want something, maybe a bit shorter than that. And I liked, the way the logo is popping around with the music you found. I like the beginning, and then seeing all the other stuff. Seeing you, what's your local pub in Denver called? But that was class as well. Loved seeing that. But
Yeah, yeah.
honestly, so
It's
many
called
in the
Esther's.
interviews, you guys combined everything. You guys like described the whole channel in the intro. That was impressive.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep, that's what I was going for. It's kind of hard. It's kind of hard to get everything wrapped up in a short intro.
Yeah, that's what
I've
I was
actually
impressed by. I was
asked.
like, they described the whole
Yeah,
channel in an intro. I was like, I didn't know that was possible. Well done, boys. I was like, well done.
yeah. Thank you. I asked a few people like to give me some honest feedback. I'm definitely not afraid of the constructive criticism. And the one that I got the most was it's too long. But I mean, it could be, it could be. But I like the way it turned
How
out. I'm
long is
happy
it?
with it. We're
Because
gonna roll with it.
it's only like
It's
what, a
like a
minute?
little over a minute. It's over a
That's
minute,
not too
but it's okay. I was going for something longer. Actually, out of I seen Dermot's, and Dermot's was like it's a long countdown, and I really like the way it goes.
I was
But
I was
yeah, for
entertained.
sure. So as long as
I like
it could keep the entertainment for that whole minute, I mean that's all that matters, right? Um, just gonna scroll down some more of these real fast, you guys.
Big up, Carl.
Yeah, for sure. Thank everybody for tuning in. Yeah, I'm curious to know too, Dago. I hope the job's going good, my man. I know you didn't start too long ago, so big up to you. Hopefully everything's going good. There he is, the one and only big Brian Dago in the chat. Then come on you Spurs, evening all Israel uncovered. That's a new face there. Thank you for tuning in, my man. We appreciate you.
I don't know who that is.
That's a
We
mirror.
haven't
Mirror,
seen
by the
for a
way, yeah.
while is the
That's
little
Amir.
homie, the 13-year-old Scottish.
Oh yeah, the Scottish lad. You're right.
Where's that guy? Where did he go?
Okay.
Sorry, Jack,
Well,
what were you
speaking of where
saying?
did he go, I got something for you guys. Hang on here, fellas. Hang on here. I got something coming up right now. Welcome to the stream, Mr. David Harris. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm all good, boys. Thank you very much for inviting us. I'm looking forward to this.
Big up, my man. Thank you for joining us. We're kind of just talking a little bit here till you're able to hop on. But look, now that we have both Jack and now that we have both David on here, we're gonna just dive right into the nitty gritty, my man. You know what I mean? That's the way I like it. No lube, just bam. Oh yeah, and then here, this is for you, my man. This is for you.
Looking sharp,
Just to
boys.
show some homage.
I know, Dave. They accommodated for us.
Yeah, we want to make you guys feel comfortable so that you guys know the door is always open for you guys.
He's gonna start speaking Irish soon, Leo.
Hey, if I go have some pints with David, you're damn right. I'm gonna learn learn how to speak Irish.
You should be doing very well. Even I fucking barely passed Irish in my leaving cert. So
Yeah, I'll teach you how to speak Spanish. You teach me how I could sound more Irish, man. You guys. So first of all, for both of you guys, a big welcome to the only Tottenham Hotspur podcast that is 5,280 feet above sea level. So we're popping your guys's you know what I mean, proverbial cherry if you don't mind.
Yeah, we'll get dizzy up
Guys.
there.
Yeah, right away we're gonna go straight into some questions. And this is for people that might not know your guys' history or your guys as on a personal level. That's what we're gonna try and do here on this channel, on this episode at least, is we're gonna try and get to know the people behind the Irish Hotspur and behind the Flatcap EuroTalk. Okay. So first of all, David, I'm gonna go with you. How long have you been a fan of Tottenham Hotspur?
I'm only 30, but 31 years, lad. I was already a Spurs fan before I was made.
Yeah, dude. That's the best answer ever, mate. Jack, it's gonna be hard for you to beat that one, brother.
No, impossible to beat that, especially, as a Yank as well, I would say, wasn't actually conceived as a Spurs fan. I think it probably 2010, 11, so kind of end of Redknapp, beginning of Villas-Boas, you could say, for me.
Yeah. Okay, we're around the
What is
same
that?
time, bro.
That's
We're around the
basically
same
Exactly.
time.
12 years. So that's basically, 12 years, I guess, right now.
Yeah. Big up, big up. Nice. I wouldn't have it no other way, bro. I wouldn't be a supporter of any other team anyway. So we're doing something right, bro.
Love it.
Parker, go ahead.
Yeah, so I started
Oh.
becoming a fan. Oh, you want?
Yeah, go
Okay,
ahead.
sorry. You want me to ask the next question?
No,
If
Parker,
you wouldn't
actually,
mind.
tell me. Sorry, Parker. Yeah, tell me just for sake. Yeah,
I was
tell
just
me.
gonna say, yeah, like pretty much around the same time, the 2011 era. I
Nice.
think that was the last year with Redknapp, I think, or right around there.
It's
So.
a unique time, I think, to join because you kind of you left Redknapp and then you go into Villas-Boas and Villas-Boas basically is like the football manager, FIFA manager, sort of guy to be brought in, all tactics,
Yeah.
maybe no brains, sort of guy. And, you get all these weird signings. So it's nice to see that, people who kind of joined in a very odd time period, if you ask me. Very odd time period, I think.
The fact
Nice to hear that, Parker. Nice to hear that.
I think we got Musa Dembele too, right around there.
Right, we were graced with Musa Dembele. You're exactly right, Parker. You're exactly right.
The fact that you guys only, you joined late to the party, that's why you don't get so stressed watching Tottenham as I do. You didn't have to join the 90s or the early 2000s.
Oh man, we still haven't won a
true.
title. We still haven't won a trophy, so we're
Good to know, though. Good to know.
I've been a fan. I've been a fan, yeah, since the same time as Jack. About 2010. I watched Tottenham play from about 2008-9, but I didn't become a fan of the Spurs until 2010. If I'm honest with you guys, I really liked Bayern Munich. I was really close to becoming a Bayern Munich supporter. It all just dives back into my past. Back in my past, I used to run with a lot of people that wore red, and so when I started watching soccer, I naturally gravitated towards the teams in red. I easily could have been a Gooner, but I thank God that I'm not. So
no, it just
I
means you
won't
like
bore you
beautiful
guys with that.
football. I mean, liking Bayern just means you like beautiful football. And then once you saw, Arsenal, at the time period wasn't as much.
It changed my
football,
mind. You're right.
The beautiful football was over at Spurs with Musa Dembele, like Parker said. So that's why.
Yeah.
God reached out and touched you. He couldn't have you being a Gooner, so he couldn't. He says,
But I like
That's right.
I like that Bayern. I would say just quickly, Bayern also sort of got me into football in sort of in an interesting way. I kind of really did like how they played. I like the entertainment factor. I like the quick passing and all that whatnot. So it's interesting. I had a similar kind of upbringing or similar kind of introduction into football because Bayern kind of made me like football. So that kind of made me have a soft spot for them, like you said.
Yeah.
right there.
Well, see, the thing about it is I was watching a lot of Champions League with my friends.
Right.
And so in that era, well, still to the day, I mean, Bayern is associated heavily with the Champions League. But in that time, they were really big hitters in the Champions League. And so it wasn't until I then started watching Premier League full on where I seen Rafael van der Vaart and Peter Crouch and said, no. I like this team. I like the way this team plays. So that's when it all went down. Parker, go ahead and read our guest the next one.
All right. So how did you hear about and get into being a fan? I thought we just answered that one.
Well, we kind of did, but we didn't really get David's, how is it that you became a fan? You have family members that are Tottenham supporters or, being in Ireland, what made you gravitate towards being a Spurs fan?
Yeah, no, well, when I was younger, I lived in Croydon for a little while, which is more down near Crystal Palace. But my old lad was a Spurs fan, so I was never going to be anything else. I love my old lad. I kind of got into everything he got into as well, So for me, that's how I got into it. I remember the old lad, I remember my first kit was a little blue Hewlett Packard sponsored kit. And it was like blue with navy down the side and stuff like that. So forever as I remember, the old lad always had me in Spurs gear out down the park playing in it. And then he also used to take me to games in the 90s as well. So I was privileged at that time.
Okay. And Jack, you kind of touched it, but anything else that you want to add to how, how it is you became a Spurs fan or what led you to become a Spurs fan?
I think you're on mute, Jacko.
Sorry.
It's
As like sort of a sports fan in general, I don't know. I'm not ever really a guy that likes to dive into like a team that's, sort of winning, or like a team, maybe bandwagon is kind of the term, over here used in the States. It wasn't exactly like I'm intentionally, doing that. It's just, I'm just sort of like a guy that likes to enjoy, endure the struggle. Even, like when I played sports, as a kid, I played for a lot of good teams. I played for a lot of bad teams. And I feel like I kind of became a better player through sports when I actually lost a lot compared to when I won a lot. I found myself very complacent, with teams that I
builds
kind of won a
character.
lot with. Whereas I kind of played a lot of basketball and stuff like that, growing up. And I found that I actually became a much better player when I lost a lot in comparison, which was weird. And so I kind of, wanted to sort of pick, a Premier League team. This was, I guess I might have been, what age am I now? So I might have been like 12 or 13 at the time. Might have been like 12, 12 or 13 at the time. So my 12-year-old self was like, I want to pick a team that sort of struggles, that sort of like, isn't expected to win everything, but sort of should, win something. And so I kind of just picked Spurs. Also because I really liked, Luka Modric. I am a big fan of the Itches. I think Dave knows that. Some of my favorite players, if not all of my favorite players of all time, all have, the surname that ends with Itch. And so that was also kind of a big part as well, just because
Who
Luka
else?
Modric was, ending with Spurs.
Interesting fact this one. Like my whole family Spurs. So like my father's side of the family are all Spurs, and then my mother's father is a Spurs fan, and then even when my nanny divorced and got with someone else again, he's a Spurs fan. So it's only Spurs fans allowed into my family, really, to be honest with you.
Good stuff.
That's what's up. That's a good family, bro. Good family genes to have, dude.
It is.
I'm starting that tradition too. I have kids, and they're learning young. So if I don't beat it into them now, I'm gonna do something wrong in my life. So my number one goal now is just to be a good dad and bring my kids with me to the pub when they're old enough to go. That, and they could drive me home.
There you go. There you go.
Being a Spurs fan from a young age was a good life lesson anyway. You get not that you
It
learn
is.
how to deal with losing, but you accept in life that there are winners and losers, rather than participation.
Yeah,
So
it keeps you loyal
is
too.
true.
You know what I mean?
yeah, it's a good grounded.
That is
Spot
true.
Spot on.
Okay. Jack, this next question, I'm going to go with you first. What's your best memories as a Spurs fan? You can take as much time or as little time as you want. You can go with one memory, what sticks out the most, or just something.
Best memory in terms of like actual, I'll just go with a few different ones, but best memory is like a goal reaction. I genuinely remember like getting a hard on, and I genuinely remember like actually just like screaming and crying and all these things at once when Harry Kane scored, the most infamous goal, with the goggles on, against
Oh my God.
Arsenal with the like I just remember just like going absolutely nuts. And I think a lot of people, I guess Dave and I have been clipped, a few times, for our goal reactions and whatnot. And I do go kind of insane, and Harry
The
Kane,
eyes turn. The
Harry
eyes
Kane,
turn.
Harry Kane usually does bring the best out of me, I would say, because his goals are quite ridiculous, I do find. And so that one I think was the best goal reaction. That one always comes to mind for me too, is just memories, because I remember just like genuinely that was the first time a goal ever gave me a hard on. And then as well,
And what a goal too, bro. What a goal as well.
yeah, first time.
That bender. Yes.
In
Yes.
terms of
Definitely up
breaking the
there as
cherry,
his
in terms
best.
of breaking the cherry on goals, like you said, that was the one, from Harry Kane himself.
And the pass too from Dele Alli, just like together, was just like so
Yeah.
good.
Oh,
I
good
loved
point,
it.
actually.
Yeah.
Good point. In the corner flag, exactly. Good point.
Mm.
And then in terms of like actual other memories, I must say, like I had a very funny, kind of experience with, kind of the Champions League run, where that was kind of like in the period of my life where I was actually like studying the most in college, like I was working a job as well, like all this stuff was happening. So it was kind of like, I know Marcelo would identify with this, like you're kind of just working, studying and stuff, the game is always on your side, you're doing it, while, you're in class, watching a game or something. You're just kind of in the middle of that kind of sort of grind period, you could say, of your life. And, I found myself just sort of like, how on earth are we making it this far, through the Champions League? And then once we actually made it to the Champions League final, I actually found myself actually in Germany at the time, because that was for what I was kind of studying for and whatnot. And when I was in Germany, I had ran into like actual Spurs fans that for some reason were in, Germany. I don't know
wow.
why. I don't know why they were, out there, but they and he just like all 7 of them. I think it was like 7 like guys, all from like Essex and London, and it was crazy. And then we just spent like 24 hours together, kind of like making fun of Winks, talking about like how on earth do we make it to a Champions League final with Winks, and talking about like Musa Sissoko somehow has been good for 6 games, like how on earth, like we were just like laughing and drinking about like how on earth are we even here. And then we ended up being really sad, of course, how it actually unfolded. But it was honestly, that was one of the best days of my life, because I, as an American, you don't really get to run into Spurs fans, every moment. At least in my case, I didn't really grow up with Spurs fans. I actually grew up with a bunch of fans of, different, clubs and whatnot. So it was actually lovely to like spend 24 hours for the first time in my life with other Spurs fans, if that makes any sense.
Perfect sense. David, what about yourself, brother? Would you bless us with some of your best memories, or your best memory, however you want to go about it?
I mean, how long have we got? I mean, I remember being going to a Tottenham game at White Hart Lane, and we were playing Wimbledon, and the old lad couldn't get tickets for the Tottenham end, so he got tickets for the Wimbledon end. And all game he was saying to me, if Tottenham score, do not celebrate, do not celebrate. Sure, I was only a wee little nipper, so of course I think it was actually. I can't remember who scored. I was going to say Stephen Iverson. I can't remember for sure. But anyway, we scored. I jumped up, celebrated, and the next thing, Wimbledon fans started giving me abuse, the outlet abuse, and everything else. And I had to take us all, walk us around the pitch and put us in the Spurs end. I mean, I remember opening that kit that I got for my birthday. That was very special. I really, really enjoyed that. I felt like a real Spurs fan. Champions League run, I mean, that was absolutely phenomenal. Against Ajax, I had to take an hour to myself. I had a little cry and stuff like that, because look, I've been a die-hard Spurs fan. I mean, I make no bones about this. I am a bit of a loser. It might explain why I get so agitated sometimes. I literally have nothing else in life but Tottenham Hotspur. So, I had a little cry when we made that Champions League final, because for years I grew up in my little box room watching the Champions League, and just wishing one day, we'll be there, watch Champions League final after Champions League final. And I've always held on to the belief, one day we will get there. And that's why I'm a big believer in believing now. Even last season when everyone thought that, weren't going to make top 4, I believe, and I got my reward. And to see us, beat Ajax in the manner we did, it was absolutely amazing just to see my club walk out in the Champions League final. Look, I know it didn't go the way all of us Spurs fans wanted, but it was an incredible achievement to get there. And I don't think we can take that for granted. It's a very hard thing to do. And I was just delighted that all my belief and loyalty down the years had finally paid me off. I remember 2011, the last cup we won. My brain is gone. I think it was the Carling Cup or the Worthington Cup at the time. That was a good memory for me, seeing us lift a trophy, which I was absolutely buzzing about. I've seen my mates run around the estate with Liverpool flags after Champions League finals, and all I want to do is punch them up because I'm pissed off. Why can't Tottenham be there? I want to put them in a headlock, give them a nuggie. And so for me, the fact that we won a trophy, it was my turn, to run around the estate with my flag and just fucking give it last. Yeah. The fingers running by them, and so I have a lot of memories down the year, but also a lot of memories with the channel. Which I think
football is the only sport that has ever really made me cry, because I've played a million different sports, and I've been a fan of a million different teams across sports, but football is the only sport that has ever made me cry. Now I've actually lost count how many times football has made me cry. I would probably
I do want to say as well. The West Ham game myself and Jack went to, that was a nice moment for me as well, for me and Jack to finally meet up, get to enjoy a game. I mean, me and Jack had never seen each other before that, so, credit to the Harris Army and all who really helped, Ellie who helped get us the tickets and get us into the Legends thing before that and stuff like that. And just meeting everybody, it was an absolute incredible day out. So that was another really nice memory I cherish.
Yeah, of course.
That is awesome. That's what Tottenham is about, bro. Like, just bringing everybody together. I mean, look, guys, all the way from Mile High City, Denver, Colorado, to Brooklyn, and then all the way to Ireland, where you're at, mate. I mean, it's the power of the club that unites us all, man. So, definitely,
somewhere in the world.
And honestly,
Someone's phone.
And thank you guys for helping us create more memories too, man. Like, this is gonna be a memory that sticks with us too, So big up to you guys. Just real quick, this wasn't a question I was gonna ask, but now that Jack kind of touched on it, do you guys follow any other sports? Jack, are you a fan of any American sports or no?
I sort of like I said, 12 years old, I sort of like started following football sort of like obsessively, that I sort of gave up like less my love for other sports. In fact, like Dave knows, like, I watch like 1,000,000 highlights, games, like whatever. I can't get enough of it. But I grew up being pretty good at basketball, being pretty good at baseball. I did track and field and things like that, and I just liked a bunch of other sports. I grew up as a baseball fan, probably is kind of my second, kind of biggest one. And so I was a Mariners fan, which still to this day isn't, the greatest team to be a fan for. And then sort of you could call me, at least, and I think Americans would understand this, I'm definitely, when it comes to basketball, since I lost my team, the Sonics, I'm basically just a LeBron sexual, my whole life. So at any place that LeBron goes, I'm a fan of. I'm that sort of guy. But basically, I don't know. That sort of explains it. I'm a Mariners fan and then a LeBron sexual.
That does make sense.
I'm basically just football 24/7, and then I occasionally tune into some basketball and whatnot.
I think the Mariners had
sports that I was the best at, actually playing wise. The sports that I was the best at were like track and then basketball, I would say.
Yeah.
Yeah. For me, look, it's mainly football. I mean, I absolutely adore it. If Tottenham, I watch a hell of a lot of football. I even go as far as watching my country's underage teams play because, I'm just I can't help it. I like watching our sports over here, the Gaelic football and the hurling. I think they're absolutely brilliant sports. I think, the Gaelic sports really helped toughen me up as a man, as a person, helped me grow up a little, because you have to be able to handle yourself playing that. I watch rugby when Ireland are playing. Hate cricket, absolutely despise that sport. And yeah, that's about. I'll watch athletics as well. I don't mind watching a bit of the athletics when that's on as well. Apart from that, yeah, not really much else.
Nice.
Parker, outside of Tottenham Hotspur, I think you've said a few times, but are you a fan of any? I mean, I personally, Jack, man, I agree with what Jack says. I was definitely a Mariners fan. Alex Rodriguez, Ken Griffey, the big unit, like that was my baseball team growing up, dude. So I could definitely agree. Yeah. What about you, Parker? Any sports outside?
Yeah, like I grew up watching like baseball and football, like American football, but once I started watching like Tottenham, I think like everything else just kind of went to the back. I don't really watch any other sport at this moment, so I enjoy watching college basketball. I think that really gets me going.
I like college,
especially in like the March, but I can't really like keep up with the leagues and stuff because I'm just spending too much time watching Spurs and like looking up stuff about Spurs. So I don't have time to like really like get into the other sports, but I do enjoy like watching like playoffs and stuff like that. So
I'm kind of a Stephen A. Smith also. I'm kind of a big Stephen A. Smith fan. So I basically wherever Stephen A. Smith is talking about, I'll pay attention to as well. Kind of Simon Jordan from TalkSport is sort of like my Stephen A. Smith. I love Stephen A. Smith. I think he's so similar to Simon Jordan in like a lot of very different ways. So whatever Stephen A. Smith is talking about as well, I'm a big fan of. So that may be baseball, maybe basketball.
He knows basketball probably the most, I would say.
Yeah, well, I think his basketball takes are hilarious. So that's what kind of made me, get into basketball.
Have you seen some of the parodies they do of Stephen A, bro? I get a chuckle out of them. Yeah. So, me personally, I follow Spurs 100% before anything else. I went to I went to Avalanche game this season. I've been to a few Rockies games. I'm not really a Rockies fan, but the Avalanche won the Stanley Cup. They won the championship for over here for the hockey. So I went to the parade and I had fun. It was it's definitely different crowd. There was like more than 500,000 people there. So, it's different. It's different. Sometimes when the off season is here, we have to pick other stuff to kind of just get us over that hump, because it's a boring off season without
especially
football.
This summer.
Yeah. So back to asking you guys questions about being Spurs fans. David, do you have a favorite Spurs player or players, past or present?
Yeah, I've got a few, my man. I mean, look, Robbie Keane, first of all. I mean, the fact that he's Irish, the fact that he banged in goals, he had his little cartwheel celebration with the little
I like
gun.
that song.
He won
I
me
mean,
a trophy too.
you check any field between 2000 and 2011, you'll see a little me celebrating doing that, all around Ireland. I loved Luka Modric. For me, I mean, this guy, what can I absolutely loved him. And I've watched a lot of stuff said about him since. And like even Robbie Keane said, when he first rocked up, everyone looked at him and just started laughing like, this guy's not going to cut it. They said after the first training session, he instantly knew he was the best player at Tottenham. And just what I loved about Luka Modric is, you have to remember back then when he was playing, the Premier League had a lot more bigger players, a lot more physical. You could probably get away with a lot more as well. But yet this guy was always in 5-10 yards of space whenever he received the ball. And that's not by luck. That's by him. You have to remember, this guy's come through Croatia. That's not going to be an easy place to get out of the height he is. You've seen some of the big players they produce. So he's had to adapt from that from a young early age. And the fact that he could replicate in the Premier League, he could put a ball left, right, over the top. It did not matter. That guy was an absolute magician on the football. I remember one of his goals against Liverpool, an absolute rocket. I loved it. So for me, I love Modric. Moussa Dembele, again, another player. Just pick up the ball from the edge of the box, give it to him. Everybody bounces off him, and you're up at their end. Absolutely loved him. Special shout out to Stephen Carr as well. Modern day fullback does not get enough credit for the way he played. He was absolutely legendary. But of course, I mean, you've got to put Harry Kane in there. Harry Kane, King of the Lane, best number 10 in world football, ninth or 800 of the world, and my second wife. I absolutely adore the guy. I love him. And actually, one of the memories I forgot was when I was at the Brighton away game last season and he kicked that Coke bottle. I mean, I've never wanted to be a Coke bottle as much in my life. I was so jealous, But yeah, so there'd be some of my favorite players. Look, you have Jurgen Klinsmann as well. He was an absolute joy to watch. I remember his diving celebration as well. When he was being ridiculed about diving at the time, he goes and scores and then does it. I mean, what shithousery. Kyle Walker, absolutely loved him. Yobi, Tan, or Jan and Toby. I mean, I absolutely adored them. I mean, look, man, we've had some great players. Gareth Bale down the years. You really think about Michael Carrick. Really enjoyed watching him as well as a deep line playmaker. Just get on the ball and keep things taking over all the time. He was an absolute joy to watch. Aaron Lennon was another one I really liked. Look, maybe the consistency wasn't there at the end of the day, but he always caused teams problem. And when he was flying, he was a handful. So, yeah, look, there's loads of players down here. I've probably missed out on a good few as well. People can say, berate me in the comments, but they're some of my favorite players over the years.
Yeah. Well, Jack, he didn't really leave you any players to pick from, brother, but go ahead and try, Jack.
I'll find a way. Moussa Dembele is the first player I ever fell in love with. I think still to this day, the most graceful ball carrier I've kind of ever seen. I think there's something unique about they're good ball carriers, and then they're ball carriers that sort of carry it as almost if it's too easy. It's almost if they can kind of just do whatever they want with it. I've actually will say someone who's kind of similar to Moussa Dembele right now. I think Eberechi Eze, just quickly from Crystal Palace, sometimes gives me Moussa Dembele vibes because he kind of does it in slow motion in a similar way that Moussa Dembele would. You just kind of make it look so easy just to skill past his man, almost like he never breaks a sweat, kind of vibe, if you know what I mean. But Moussa Dembele, probably still to this day, maybe one of my favorite ever Spurs players. Probably, I would say my favorite ever Spurs player, the one I first ever bought a kit for. Luka Modric.
Same with me, actually.
Yeah. Luka Modric, I feel I guess you and me, Parker, we were at the end of Luka Modric. So it's I knew Luka Modric was world class, but we got to live, the end of it, sort of, you could say, where as we were getting into it, Luka was leaving. So Luka is still one of my favorites, but I feel like it's kind of cheating. So I do say Moussa Dembele is probably my favorite. Højbjerg, I am actually a huge fan of. I've actually defended him, I think, throughout the season of Jose. I think, that was kind of when I was, joining up, with David anyway. I think that's kind of even what sort of was my big, I don't know, firing talking point when I first joined up with Dave was just how much I thought Højbjerg, deserve more respect. And, I guess still to this day, the Højbjerg fans are, fighting that battle. And then maybe during the, the Champions League season, you could say under Poch, if I weren't to say Moussa Dembele, it's tough, actually. I think it is really tough because Christian Eriksen sort of has betrayed me, I think, in a lot of ways. So I kind of have, lost.
Yeah, I agree with you, brother. I agree with you.
I probably would have gone to Eriksen there, but I think I'm going to go for Jan. I think I'm going to go for Jan Vertonghen. Jan Vertonghen, kind of similar to Moussa Dembele, just one of those classy technical players that just kind of makes it look easy, at times, makes it look like it's done in slow motion, and I would say, and probably still to this day, as much as I like Romero more than Jan, I would love to play alongside Romero. I mean, that would be the most beautiful yin and yang, sort of partnership, I think. Even better, if you ask me, than him and Toby. And I know that's a hot take. I know that's a hot take, but I would love to have Romero and Jan. So Jan, Moussa Dembele, I think I'll go with those two. And then Pierre Højbjerg, and then Højbjerg, of course. And then if I were to pick a player that I've never seen,
Glenn Hoddle.
I think I would go for Glenn Hoddle because I had a conversation with somebody today on Twitter. Like, if Glenn Hoddle played for Man City, what would his numbers be? And I just think like Glenn Hoddle would be like the best player in the world if he played for Pep's Man City. So I'll go for Glenn Hoddle.
Yeah.
I also want to give a shout out to Ledley King as well. I mean, what a warrior that guy was, even with all his injuries. The guy never gave up, rolled himself out there when Spurs needed him. You know, and bit through the pain. I mean, if you're talking about a player fully coised, it was Ledley King, through all the turmoil and injuries he's had to go to still stick around and roll himself out, even though he's in mad pain. Help us win that cup. The Carling Cup or Worthington Cup, whatever it was called at the time. And this guy was a phenomenal defender, by the way. If he didn't have his injury problems, he would have been first
on his day.
For England.
World class on his day.
Yeah, he would have been first choice for England. The guy had it all. He was brilliant on the football. Pace, height, strength. The guy had it absolutely all. And everyone says it as well. You watch any of the England players from around that era, they'll all tell you, if Ledley King didn't have his injury problems, he would have been one of the best defenders in world football.
Yeah. Man, wonderful shouts. Parker, you want to go ahead and read this next question here for our mates?
All right, let's talk about your kit collections. I think, Jack, you said like your first one was.
Go ahead, brother.
My jerseys from when I'm younger. I'll be back in a sec.
Go ahead.
Love it.
So Jack, which one's your favorite?
For like the kits, I'm actually a guy that really I buy kits only for Spurs at least. That I only buy kits with name on it. I don't really buy, kind of like the regular kit with no name on it. I kind of like having, the kit with the name on it because you sort of even watching a game. I don't know about you guys. Maybe I'm super weird this way, but it's sort of even like I have right now, at least with the current players, I have a Højbjerg and a Romero kit. And there's certain times when I'm feeling like, I need to be Højbjerg today. I'm feeling like I need to be Romero, kind of today, and watching the game. And so the kits that I've actually bought in my lifetime are the likes of a Luka Modric kit and then a Moussa Dembele kit. I did outgrow those kits because I was, 12 and 13, at the time, as much as I would love to be maybe a bit, in better shape and whatnot. I would say I can't fit those anymore. Maybe I could crop top them or something. That'd be kind of, interesting. But Højbjerg and Romero. So really, it's kind of quite sad, since again, I'm like you guys, or at least like Parker, I guess, kind of only been a fan really 12 years, you could say. So, and I'm kind of, sentimental about kits, I guess I've kind of explained, I only buy kits, with the name on it in the back. And I guess I was a poor college student, at one stage. So I kind of, didn't buy a lot of, Harry Winks kits or anything, during that Champions League run.
Yeah.
The kits that I have bought were Luka Modric, Moussa Dembele, Pierre-Emile Højbjerg, Romero, and then I'm probably buying a Perisic kit, is what I would say.
Nice.
But my favorite one right now is probably that Romero kit. I would say I love wearing that Romero kit. It does feel like you can just kind of be, whatever vibe you're going for. That's what Romero is. He just does what he wants.
Are you superstitious about the kit you wear on the day, or not at all?
I got that from baseball because I played a ton of baseball as a kid, and I think any baseball player, you'd be ridiculous if you weren't a superstitious person. I think any good baseball player is a superstitious, kind of person. They at least do something that's kind of weird. They do something the same way every time. Any baseball player does that. So I used to be kind of superstitious about kits. I kind of am and kind of not. Like I kind of do it like I just said earlier, which maybe didn't make sense. I'm kind of like when I wake up in the morning, I'm kind of like, what do Spurs need? Do Spurs need me to wear the Romero kit, to dominate the defense? Or do Spurs need me to wear, that Højbjerg kit, to be, the boss in the midfield? So I kind of, do it based off the vibe. And, if I get it wrong, then I blame it on myself. I don't blame it on the squad.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, my personal favorite kits are definitely I like the retro range. I was born in '87, so anything that I can get around that era for me is definitely is fitting. But I do like the Under Armour's one that has the strip going across the side there. That's my favorite kit all time for sure. When Harry Kane scored that goal and he took off the face mask and ran. What about you, David?
Yeah, I've got a collection of jerseys. Look, first of all, my favorite ones are the Adidas ones when we had Adidas as a sponsor. All-time favorite jerseys. But here's a collection of my jerseys from down the years, and this is only some of them. So we've got that one. That was an absolute beauty.
Nice. Yeah, I have one of those mansion ones too. Mansion.
I've got the light blue mansion one as well. Absolute beauty.
Yeah, those are cool. I like that.
Then I've got the blue Thompson one. Remember, I was sponsored by Thompson.
Yep.
Absolutely.
I got a black one of those. I just ordered it actually.
Nice.
On eBay.
Then I've got the white one as well, of course.
Oh man, I love
nice.
That. Then I've got this baby. It's the home one of the other light blue one.
I like that one.
Oh yeah, that was the 2002.
We've got this one here. If anyone remembers this,
I like that one.
We've got Harris.
Big Harris. Big H.
But this is the one. This is the one that I'll always cherish and I'll always keep. This is from when I was a little nipper. This is the one I'm on about, the blue pony
kit. Holy shit.
Pony and that's only a snippet of what I have. So every birthday, every Christmas, I'll be getting Spurs jerseys and stuff like that. So it's only a snippet of what I have.
I think
so
even Dave and I,
that blue pony.
Inside channel secret. I think even Dave and I have sort of said like, we were thinking about because I'm kind of, thinking about what kit, I want it, what player I want to get on the back for this season, and like I said, I'm very superstitious. So I've been talking out with Dave for hours, I'm like, I think I'm going Perisic. The next week I'm like, do I go, with a different player? And, Dave and I have realized that, he's going to represent, the retro era, of Spurs, and I'm going to represent, the new era. So, even a conversation David had, he and I even had this conversation, I think the other day. So there you go. So Dave's going to be exclusively retro.
I really want a Kulusevski jersey this year.
Yeah, I've been thinking about it.
Hopefully he stays.
Something Perisic is just giving me that vibe.
Yeah. He could be his last club. Who knows?
Love that.
This I think he's got a couple of years left. Well, that's yet to see, you guys. One more question for you guys. Are you guys chanters? Do you love to get in the chant and get to singing and crying? Well, we know Jack's a crier and a chanter. I mean, but like, what's your favorite chant, David?
Man, I love them all. I love the look. I know he's gone, but I used to love the one the Dele Alli one that used to be able to sing at Arsenal fans. Yeah. The Arsenal fan on a string. I love where the tottenham making all the noise. Of course, I love Harry Kane's chant. It's not the best, but because Harry Kane is in it, he's one of our own. Look, I mean, I am a chanter. I'm a jumper. I'm a singer. Not a problem, man. You best believe when I'm over there, I'm fully invested. Even at home, look, even if you watch the watch-alongs and stuff like that, sometimes you'll hear me sing. Jack sitting there with his dreaded eyes, and I'm sitting there singing away. Before games, I'm sitting there listening to Spurs songs, getting me pumped up for an hour. I absolutely love them, my man. I'm fully invested.
Yeah, why not have a good time? Why not have fun, and that's what makes it fun. Leo and I would love to come and watch a game with you guys sometime. But yeah, we absolutely love chanting and stuff. That's definitely part of part of our
Hey,
mornings.
David, are you going to do another under what is it? What was it? The under the 23s watch along again or no?
Do you know what, lad? I was extremely disappointed by the level we were at that day. Look, it wasn't great whatsoever. It was incredibly boring. Tottenham didn't create anything of note whatsoever. I think I might delve back into it after about another few games until it maybe picks up a bit of pace. But the last one was incredibly boring, just a waste of my hour and a half, to be honest with you. As much as look, I've always been one that keeps an eye on it. Jack knows what Ireland as well. You know, I know every underage player coming through. And I also look at a lot of Tottenham's underage players and stuff like that and keep an eye on the progress. But I was very disappointed about how they were the last day, but I'm pretty sure I'll be back doing them.
Yeah. Yeah, this is no disrespect at all towards you. I almost fell asleep because I was watching the game myself, and it was just it was a tough watch, bro. So I really appreciate you even giving your best to have the watch along because the game alone was atrocious.
And are those on Spurs play?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
All of them are on Spurs play. They'll all be on it.
Okay,
yeah, cool. But I mean, but at least you had you had the energy enough to sit there and watch it. I remember you saying like, if this doesn't get better next half, I might not be doing another one. So that's the reason I was asking, bro.
No, look, as shocking as it was, I'm a glutton for punishment. Look, I followed Ireland. A lot of people in Ireland don't watch the games. I haven't watched the games over the last few years because we've been absolutely atrocious, you know. But
Yeah.
Jack knows I'm a glutton for punishment. I love it. So I'm stuck through all the Ireland games watching them. So look, I probably will stick by the under-23s and watch them as well, or the under-21s, no matter how bad it is, if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
It's good to see them come up.
No one
through
should
the
be
ranks,
forced to watch Ireland versus Azerbaijan. No one should be forced to watch that game.
Well, guys, now we have like a couple of just quick fire. You know, don't have to go deep into it. Just quick fire questions, real fast, for both of you guys. We'll start off with you, David. Does Eric Dyer get the respect he deserves, or do we as fans put him up on a pedestal?
I'm gonna go pedestal.
Okay. Jack.
Pedestal.
Okay. You guys, 3 games in so far. Jack, are you nervous?
Absolutely not. I think we're in the spot that we're supposed to be, that every Spurs fan probably predicted us to be. And if they thought they would be higher than that, good on them. If they thought it would be lower than that, be happy.
Okay. Mr. Harris?
No, not nervous whatsoever, to be honest with you. I'll back our boys. I'm confident. Look, it's the 7 points out of 9 that we dropped last season. Let's fucking go, Forrest.
Yep. Parker, you want to go ahead and give him the next one?
So are we going to win a trophy this season, boys?
Yeah.
Let's do
Injuries
it.
permitting.
Gotta believe.
No,
right?
I believe.
Right, David? I know you do.
Saying yes.
As much as I believe.
I don't know which one yet, but yes. Yes.
As much as I believe, there's always potential that one of the players I'm always grilling will let me down. So if Romero can stay fit and he's playing in the big games in that back line, I think we'll go and win a trophy, no problem.
Yeah.
Different
Is this
mentality.
the only season you've really felt that way too? I mean, for the last 10 years.
Look, I go into every season believing you can win a quadruple. I think it's the only way, to be honest with you. I don't think you should go and accepting, maybe secure top 8, get a good run in the cups. No, every team should go into every season, believing that they can, go and win trophies. Even the bottom teams, they should believe that there can always be a miracle on the horizon. You look at Leicester that time, there's always a miracle waiting to happen.
Doesn't matter how you get the 3 points.
No, look, you believe, you work hard enough and you envisage it, and you put everything you've learned during the week into practice, it's more than possible. So for me, I think you should go into every season expecting or believing in the quadruple, and then as you get knocked out along the way, or you're mathematically not possible to win the league, then you reassess and you go for the next highest.
Yeah.
Love that.
Yeah.
Pick up. David, any hopes or wishes for the Champions League draw? Any favorite opponents?
Look, for me, I'll be honest, I want one nice team or 2 easy teams and then one tough team, if I'm being honest. Because, look, I want one of the top teams, maybe at Bayern Munich or Real Madrid, to see what level we're really at. And then I want 2 easy teams so that we can guarantee progress into the knockouts.
Yeah.
Good
Jack?
shout. I like it.
Yeah, we all want the hardest group possible, to be able to test ourselves for the later rounds. At the same time, you have to consider, like the competition we'll face in the league. I'm kind of with Dave. You probably want, a mixture of both. But if I did have to pick between the two and the original, sort of comment, I feel like I'll go, for the hardest group possible. Favorite opponents? I feel like a Bayern is a good test for us because you will come up against teams that will press you, extremely high, in a similar manner like them. I'll be honest, PSG could actually be a good test for us because you are basically coming up against the best attackers, at least ability wise, I think, in the world. So maybe I think I'd go PSG just so that we can test ourselves against like Mbappe, Neymar, Messi, etc. Just get
See how
schooled.
good Romero really is.
I mean, we'll get ruined a few times. Like, I'll be honest, we will get ruined,
Yeah.
a few times by them. But I think that would be good test. And for, because you're not going to come up against a harder front three, than that,
Yeah.
and Dave and I are big on the defense. So I would say PSG is the one that I want in our group. I think it'd be a good test for our defense. Make them better. Just make them better at the end of the day. Make them better.
You'd have to also think that the environment, just the whole vibe at the lane would just be off the rocker if we were to have Mbappe and Messi and Neymar show up on a Wednesday night, right, you guys?
Look,
It'd
they
be a
wouldn't
test
be
for
able to,
Sanchez.
the way they have to walk down the pitch to be able to get to the change rooms. They wouldn't be able to handle the booing. Spurs fans
Yeah.
will have them rattled before they walk out.
I hope
Yeah, well, they'd be hearing me all the way from here.
I hope Mbappe lets himself in, because apparently he's bigger than any football club in the world. So I hope maybe he lets himself in. Maybe he, he scans his own ticket, to get into the team, and whatnot, because that guy thinks he's bigger than any football club in the world. So hopefully, Daniel Levy and everybody let them into the club because apparently, he probably, makes his own entrance, the guy.
Yeah.
I'm already talking shit to Mbappe, after what he's done.
I'm excited for the Champions League. I'm glad we're talking about Love it.
I had to change it because I put any more singings instead of signings. You guys, real fast, David, real quick. Any more signings or are we done?
Nah, I think we have a couple coming in. Look, I'd say one, but I think we might get two in before the end of the window.
Yep.
Same, Jack? Okay. Cool.
I'm with you. Yeah. Creative midfielder might be Malinowski. It's interesting about that because he wants to come here, but Spurs aren't too eager. And then center back, I mean, if Tanganga leaves, I mean, we are signing a center back.
We've got to.
Okay. I'm just going to go through a couple of these comments real fast before we move on.
Has signed for Forest.
Yeah, Aurier signed for Forest.
Really?
Rucker's got the Peaky Blinders Tottenham vibe.
Hopefully he can play Sunday.
Got the best flat cap in the four of us. He's outdoing us on the flat caps. I think Parker is.
Appreciate it.
Hopefully.
All right, guys. All right, you guys. Well, thanks to David and Jack for joining us. Now we want to welcome the Irish Hotspur and Flatcap EuroTalk to this stream. So welcome to the stream, Irish Hotspur and Flatcap Euro. How you guys doing? So that was, we thank you guys for letting us know. You guys as Tottenham Hotspur fans, we greatly appreciate that. If anybody in the chat didn't know questions that we asked, there you go. I most certainly wanted to get to know you guys, on a more personal level before I ask you guys different questions about like I said, the Flatcap EuroTalk and Irish Hotspur. So now these next questions, you guys, are just going to be basically based towards your YouTube channel and your guys' YouTube career. But first, I want to start off by asking you guys, how long have the two of you guys been friends?
Oh, that's a good question. I haven't been asked
the time period. I know the time period, I guess. So I first went on Dave's fan show. Might have been around March or April. Must have been 20. It was basically, the season of Jose and Mason. So what was that? 2020, 2021?
Yeah, I think so.
So it must have been 2021. So 2021 is when I first met Dave in like March or April.
Okay. Cool. I didn't mean to put you guys on the spot. Parker and I have been friends for.
You never get asked this. David and I need a better script. David and I never get asked this stuff.
I don't mean to catch you guys off guard. It's like asking somebody how long. Yeah, you guys.
Maybe I'll explain quickly. I went on Dave's fan show, and I, was kind of I went on Dave's fan show. Dave was very kind to me and kind of realizing, maybe that I potentially could bring something to his channel with asking questions and stuff. I love hosting. As much as I love, bringing my own ludicrous opinions and kind of being a bit funny and whatnot. I think that's what I like about hosting is that I'm a bit lighthearted. You know, I'm a bit funny. I try to, you know, see all opinions. I don't really often care what opinion you have as long as it promotes like really good debate. And so I think, you know, Dave saw that when I was on a fan show with him, and then it sort of blossomed from there. Was maybe the short story.
Nice. Parker, do you want to elaborate how you and I became friends?
Well, we met at Esther's, the pub, early this year. Like, let's see, probably like February, March. So not that long. I mean, like, yeah, we just really got getting to know each other still. So,
Yeah.
Yeah, I still
Definitely for
remember
his
my
birthday though. His birthday was his birthday was definitely a fun time.
Yeah,
Parker,
that
go
was,
ahead.
I think we played Everton. I think we won like 5-0. So that was one of my favorite memories too. Just being because there weren't that many people. I think it was a midweek game, so there weren't that many people at the pub, and it was just a blast because it was just a group of us, you know, just a handful of us, and it's a good time.
Yeah. But to be fair to my homie Parker here, though, he's been at the foot of the canyon with me this whole time. I kind of pitched this idea to him, like I want to do interviews at the pub. I want to have this YouTube channel, and I told him, hey, you know, you're gonna join me, and he hasn't backed down since. So big up to you, Parker, and I appreciate you, brother.
Oh yeah, I love it.
Fair.
I guess that kind of I'll jump questions and go back to some other ones, but that kind of just leads me into this question. Do you guys have any advice for us? We know you guys do a lot of co-hosting together on the Irish Hotspur. What kind of advice would you offer to us that we try to do a co-host type show? You know, just is there any type of advice, David, that Irish Hotspur that you would, you know, that you could pass on to your fellow YouTubers?
I think the biggest one is just be yourself. Don't try and be anybody else, you know, because eventually you get found out. Just be yourself, you know, have your opinions, listen to others, but it doesn't, like, you know, if people make good points, they might change your opinion, but have your opinions. Don't be afraid to speak them and just be yourself, please, you know?
Yeah.
Even to echo that though, like I don't really, as you can even tell maybe by how I talk or even, you know, even my own opinions, you know, regarding Spurs or football in general, I don't really try to mimic Dave. You know, I'm not like trying to, you know, be, you know, Dave's, you know, carbon copy, you know, right next to him. In fact, I think Dave, like you just said, would probably have found me out by now if I was trying to copy, you know, all of his opinions, you know, like on everything. Dave and I even find ourselves actually, you know, probably either being harder on one thing in one case, or maybe I'm harder on one than, you know, than another. And so it is kind of, yeah, I would say, like I said this earlier, but I think what's made Dave and I really get along, in fact, be friends, as well as, you know, maybe work well together, is that we are like, we realize we're really different people. We realize we have really, you know, sort of like yin and yang sort of approach to things. And I think that's actually what's made us work. And I would say if that is the case with you guys, like if you find yourselves, you know, like, maybe I think about things this way, but Dave thinks about things this way. It's not like an issue. That's not like a problem of any kind. Like, in fact, that sort of like makes you better because like you'll find yourself thinking, you know, maybe I would do it this way, but the fact that Dave might think the opposite is actually a good thing, if you know what I mean by that.
Yeah. Well,
And that's worked for me
you
because
guys,
I love, as I said, I love being a host. I love listening to people's different opinions. I think even Dave knows me. Like, as much as I have my own opinions, I love listening to someone else's opinion, even if it's the complete opposite of mine. I'm just that sort of guy. And so I think that sort of has worked out for us, where he and I come from totally different, you know, planes of thinking sometimes, but we sort of like find that middle ground, you know, quite often, actually.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of similar to Leo and I too. We come from like different backgrounds and stuff, but we still, you know, we love Spurs and we compromise, you know, a lot. So,
but yeah, see the beauty in that. You know what I mean? It's like, don't think that that's like going to be a roadblock. In fact, that's your strength, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And always listen to each other as well. Never shut each other's ideas down or stuff like that. You know, if one of you have an idea that you know made, you know, go with it. See what happens. Roll it out there. You know, and vice versa. Just work with each other. You know, that's all I can say to you. Is just work with each other and you'll be fine.
Yeah. Well, thank you guys for the input. I greatly appreciate it. I'm sure I don't want to speak for Parker, but I'm sure he does too.
Absolutely.
Parker, do you want to go ahead with this next one, brother?
All right. So the Flatcaps, how did it start?
Yeah, look. Yeah. So for me, look, I've always had a flat cap or two knocking around. You know, I like wearing them with them parka jackets when I'm out and stuff like that. I feel sexy. I feel slick. You know. But I'll be honest, where it really took off is if you go back watch some of my early streams, I've got a good fucking head of hair. It grows very, very quickly. But I was locked down. I needed a haircut. I was starting to look a bit like Gary Neville, so I needed the haircut. So, for some reason or the other, I said I'd trust my father to do it. He made a bollocks of it. So I put on the flat cap and was like, my God, you look good, man. So I just rolled with it.
Yeah.
And since then, it's taken off. It's come into fashion. Everybody wants one. Everyone wants to wear one. So
Yeah. My girlfriend absolutely hates them. Like, she will not let me wear it outside. Like,
it's probably because you have a good head of hair, Parker, I would imagine, because, people, I'll show up on stream on someone else's, channel, and I won't wear the flat cap, and people are like, Jack, like, why aren't you wearing the flat cap like you even guys did, and things. It's like, the only person that's probably ever seen my hair, is the missus. So, I know how you feel. I know how you feel.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just real quick, Irish, I remember one day you were having a stream and you had mentioned you had just went and got your haircut, and I actually sent you a message on the chat, and I was like, hey, the haircut came out good, bro. We rock the same type of haircut, my man. Remember? I mean, we got the same type of haircut, bro.
I won't
and
take off mine now because my hair's a small.
No, you're good.
You're
good.
No,
they see the same cousin. They see the same cousin.
Yeah, I remember he said he goes for the Doherty. So that's what when I go to the barber, I tell him, hey, just give me the Doherty.
I love it. Absolutely love it. It's short, it's neat, it looks good. It's perfect without having to sit there for hours, get it curled, and all this sort of fancy stuff all these young lads do with it nowadays. No need. Short back and sides, trim on top. You look as good as any man out there.
There you go.
Yeah. I just want to take this second right now to let everybody know that you guys are tuned in to Mile High Hotspur, our special guest, Irish Hotspur, and Flatcap EuroTalk. Go ahead and hit the like button and definitely subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. And if you're not, by some sort of reason, subscribe to these guys here, subscribe to them. Their links definitely posted in the chat, and of course, I linked to all of their social media platforms in the description. Go follow them, you guys. Hit them, give them guys a subscribe. I'm sure if you guys are here, you guys are there. So I mean, it's all love. And while we're here too, go ahead and subscribe to the United Spurs of America. Those are the homies of the channel, always on our stream. So big up to everybody in the chat as well. No, you guys. Well, thanks for filling us in on the whole flat caps. I myself was personally interested in wondering where it came about. It definitely sets you guys apart. When I think of Irish Hotspur or I think of you, Jack, I think of the flat caps. And when I was talking to Parker here, I said, Parker, it's only fitting we pay some homage to these guys and we go get ourselves some flat caps and wear them while we interview these guys. So, just, yeah, you guys,
When it comes to Jack, I made it uniform. I was like, look, Jack, we don't have many things the same. So let's at least have a flat cap together,
Exactly.
Let's look like with some sort of partnership here.
The only way we could be taken seriously, I think, at a certain
Yeah. So that leads me to a question right now. You guys kind of touched on it, but ever since Jack, the Flat Cap Euro came about, have you guys always been co-hosts?
Yeah. Think so.
Yeah.
So just when you got into the door and you did Flatcap Euro, you guys still have everything on Irish Hotspur, and you guys are co-hosts. Because when I see Irish Hotspur, it's synonymous with seeing you on there too, brother. So that's why I'm asking.
Yeah. I think maybe what you're trying. Yeah. So I don't know. I think Dave maybe could. I guess Dave can answer it, but I think I think Dave was looking for somebody to help him out with, the ability of posting, because I think, at least I'll let Dave come in here quickly, but whenever we watch Dave, we know he loves to speak his mind, and, we know he loves to be, kind of prepared, with whatever logic, he has prepared, with speaking his mind. And I feel like, it's hard to do that on your own, it's hard to be able to host and, be able to, give your own opinion, as well as, click on the chat, as well as do all, the running
and
of the
promote
channel.
it. Yeah.
I know Dave was, essentially looking for a partner, and I guess sort of, I don't know, Dave, I guess you think.
No, look, I was looking for somebody to come on and kind of give me a hand. Look, I ran my YouTube channel to 3.5K subscribers on this bad boy. I used to stream through this all the time,
Yeah.
And I was just getting to the point where, look, Jack came on a fan show and Jack started asking me all these questions. I'm sitting there, I'm like, Jack, I'm supposed to be asking you questions. So then I sat there after and I was like, thought about it. I said, look, I need to get in contact with Mr. Kineke. There's something here that we can work with. So, I got in contact with Jack. Jack came on board and look, I would say really elevated the channel. Look, behind the scenes, before the computer and all, I was writing like my questions down on copies. I had this segment called Tell Me Your Spurs Story, came up with all the questions for that, etc., etc. But it was getting to the point where it was getting too big with all the guest appearances I was making left, right, and center. The viewers coming into the chat at the time, the shows that we were doing and stuff like that. It was just getting too much. And then I also wanted to take the channel to a new direction. Like, my questions were always based off my feelings on things, but what Jack's very, very good at is putting the questions out there in a neutral manner, so you can go anyway, rather than me already kind of guiding you with your answer with the way I pose the questions. And I really do want to thank Jack as well, because he really has helped elevate the channel to a new level, in my opinion. I think he had so much quality to it, in terms of it's all the things behind the scenes people don't see. The organization, look, sometimes I'm a bit I can get lost doing things sometimes, I get sidetracked. Jack keeps me on point. Look, Dave, let's get this done. Stuff like that. So yeah, I wouldn't change Jack for anybody. It's been an absolute pleasure beside this man here.
That's awesome, you guys. That's love, bro. That's love. Parker, you writing some shit down? Kidding. Parker, go ahead. Go ahead and ask the homies this next one.
Okay, so let me see. What are some of the hardest things about being a Tottenham Hotspur related YouTuber?
Look, I'll just go quickly. For me, I think it's the abuse sometimes you get. Look, I always come into this, and I sat down with the missus beforehand, who, by the way, credit to her, she gave me a massive push because I was humming and hawing, and she said, "Look, go and do it. If that's where your passion is, go and try it." And so for me, I think it is the abuse you can get sometimes. Look, as much as I came into it knowing it was going to happen and try and prepare yourself for it, sometimes it can really get you down to a point where you want to walk away from things. If you're already in a bad mindset, it really plays on your mind, and everything else. So for me, I think that's the only negative side of it, if I'm being honest. I think it's just the abuse. Sometimes it can cut deep. And I'll be honest, lads, I'm one of them people where a lot of stuff just goes over my head, over my shoulders, and I never dwell on it. It's like, look, if opinions were coming from the people around me that love me, I'd maybe need to look in the mirror and have a reality check, But when it's coming from people that maybe don't know me, don't know my story or anything else like that, I think sometimes you can let it blow over. But, sometimes it can get to you. If you're sitting there lonely at night, just on your own, sometimes it can get to you and cut deep, But apart from that, I want to say, I actually think there's been a lot more positives than negatives. I absolutely love it. Look, the fact that I get to mingle with so many Spurs fans around the world, which is unbelievable. It also made me realize how big the Spurs fan base is. I didn't even think it was possible, but it's probably made me even more passionate, and it's just opened up a hell of a lot of doors for me. And, it's the people you meet, I think, is incredible. Everyone's from different walks of life, different backgrounds, different stories behind them. But we all have that one bond, and everyone is a good fucking character, and that's what I love the most. It's more positives than negatives for me.
Mm-hmm.
Big up. Flatcap Euro, what do you think?
I think Dave and I have been I love doing the watch longs. Like I said, I guess we've been clipped plenty of times, for the reaction. So clearly I do love the watch longs, but, I'm kind of in charge of, usually the chat. I can kind of see sometimes, like what people are saying, while the game is going. And I must say, it's quite hard, if you know what I mean. Like, you kind of just want to watch the game, kind of make your own opinions, but you're kind of just seeing as like the game is happening, it's like, God, Højbjerg is, shit, God, Emerson is garbage, worst right back I've ever seen, and like, you just sort of like, I think it's similar to what Dave said, where you kind of have a lot of comments of, things that just seem unfair, maybe made towards you, or, maybe made towards something. And it's tough, and I would say I love doing the watch alongs, but that's kind of the thing is I want to make my own opinions when often watching a game. but I'm actually finding myself, I'm watching the chat, watching the game, watching the chat, watching the game. And sort of like, it's really hard to find yourself like making often your own opinions about Tottenham, and whereas, especially my job, whereas, like I said, I love hosting. I love, bringing the best out of everybody. I don't want to cater to Dave, like Dave said, make neutral questions and whatnot. But sometimes, you find myself burying myself in, opinions that I definitely do not hold, about whatever player, whatever thing, about Spurs. And I must say, I think that actually gets a bit, wearing. It's like, especially my job where I really do love hosting. I really do love coming up with good questions to bring the best out of people. Often, if you do that, you have to like put yourself in the mindset of somebody who might say that this transfer window was a 0 out of 10, and like, you have to come up with, a question, related to that. Or you might have to put a question up that's like someone who thinks Højbjerg is terrible, and like you have to make a question, related upon that. So you're not catering to Dave or, anything like that. Because I must say, like, I guess I've learned, I think I've become quite good at that. I think even Dave knows, like I kind of love doing that. I'm a bit of a shit house. I kind of love doing that. But it actually, like mentally as a Spurs fan, I find myself not being a normal Spurs fan, if that makes any sense, in certain moments.
Yeah.
Where I'm like, I'm listening to all these different opinions all over the world, and sometimes you need to realize, like, wait, Jack, you need to make your own opinion, about Spurs. I don't know. That was all over the place, though, that answer. I apologize.
No, that's a fair shout, bro. I appreciate you. You guys don't have to really go too far into this one. Parker, go ahead and read it to them if you'd like.
What are some of your best moments so far in doing the podcasts and being a YouTuber?
Look, for me, I think it's meeting all the fans. I think that's probably my favorite moment, if I'm being honest. Look, although my father is Spurs, my uncle is Spurs, my granddad is Spurs, I didn't have any kids growing up around me, bar my best friend who I converted to a Spurs fan, as Spurs fans, So I used to sit here before it all. I'd be going mad about Tottenham, be sitting there in my own head, it's getting to the point where the missus was like, "Do you want dinner?" I'm like, "No, I just want Tottenham to win. Now, please leave me alone," And it's just like,
Yeah.
it was really getting to me what was going on at the time, and it was lockdown and stuff like that. So I just said, look, we'll go for it and see what happens. But look, meeting the fans, I mean, I think being asked by the We Are Tottenham TV boys to do a show for them was absolutely insane. I mean, I've been watching these guys, and for them to say, look, we like you, do you want to do something? I mean, that was an incredible, nice moment. And then, of course, getting Jack on board as well. So for me, and look, it's as well, it's being privileged enough that people have accepted me. I'm well aware I'm not the best of looking guys. I'm not the cleanest looking guys. I don't even speak the cleanest, I'm rough and as ready as they come. I'm a pure working class kid, and for people to receive me the way they have, it really makes me emotional at times, because, you're putting yourself out there in front of a lot of people, and the way they receive you, I mean, hats off to them guys. It's absolutely incredible. So thank you, everybody.
Well said, Dave.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Irish Hotspur. I mean, if it wasn't for channels like you, bro, this channel would be non-existent. So, I mean, my hat's off to you, bro, honestly. Going back to what you touched on with We Are Tottenham TV, like for me, that's like where it all everybody, like that's Bobby K puts it best. That's the mothership, and then we have everybody else kind of underneath of them. So I remember. I don't know what's going on, but I think you used to host the pre-match pump up for them. Do you still do that, or is that something that Irish Hotspur does on his own?
No. Look, I host the pre-match build-up on my channel, and then I go over and do the pre-match pump-up on theirs.
Okay.
Pre-match pump-up is a little bit different to what it was last year. I think we're going more of with a panel sort of style show, and just see hands out for the first little while. But yeah. Look, me, I just enjoy sitting there talking about Spurs. If I wasn't doing it on stream, I'll be sitting there in my own head or blabbing the ears off my missus who just doesn't understand, So.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, that's true. Parker, do you have any questions that we didn't go through here for these guys as far as them being the Irish Hotspur and Flatcap Euro? I mean, I just keep throwing mine out there, so go ahead, bro.
Yeah, no. Like who was like your mentor? Like who like kind of like made you start? And I guess I'll start with I don't care, but
Let Jack go first, and I'll come in after Jack.
Sure.
I guess who I first got introduced to was Weird Time TV. Like you said, the mothership. I kind of came on and I don't know. I remember being super nervous. Like that was the first time I'd ever even like gone on and spoke about like Spurs in general, like in front of like a bunch of people. Yeah, I don't know about you guys, but especially as, sort of an American, like, or as a Yank, it's kind of like, at least me, I didn't grow up with a bunch of Spurs fans. I actually ended up, and maybe Dave would even know this, I'm quite good about talking about just like plenty of football teams in general, because I kind of found myself, kind of surrounded by people that weren't Spurs fans. So, often I was like talking about what Liverpool needs, what Liverpool's problems are, or like whatever, not really talking about Spurs. And when I went on Weird Time TV for the first time on those fan shows, I was like, holy shit, like I'm actually talking about Spurs, for the first time, for 10 minutes, to people. And then from there, I met Brian Daigle, I met Brian Ireland. And then after that, I was kind of like, thinking I really do like doing this. And I sort of also graduated, in the pandemic and whatnot. And I was working a bunch of shitty jobs and, things like that, just sort of kind of making, money while I could. And, the person I really actually loved the most and admired the most was Dave. So really to answer that question that you had originally, I don't even know. I wanted to work with Dave and I wanted to be with Dave, but I don't even know. Like I said before, I wasn't ever trying to mimic myself off Dave. I kind of wanted to provoke Dave, in a kind of a way. I wanted to be that guy that could sort of like, go to Dave and be like, Dave, like, you're asking for a center back here, but like, what type of center back, do you want? Like what, is that center back, need to have, kind of thing. And so I've sort of found myself, wanting to just be alongside somebody that, like I said, maybe I keep using this term, yin and yang. I wanted to be lying alongside somebody that appreciated me for who I am, with what I offer, but as well as like very different to me. It's like, someone that brings the best out of things that I'm not very good at. Like Dave is extremely good at getting his point across, bringing it across in the right manner, and also speaking with real honesty and speaking with like his real chest out. Whereas I'm kind of a guy, that likes to speak with kind of a lot of different sort of anecdotal kind of, things. I don't maybe speak as passionately all the time. And so I guess Dave is kind of the person I was looking for, but to be super confused with my answer as I've been this whole night, I wasn't exactly trying to mimic myself after anybody, if that makes any sense. I did want to just be my own. I wanted to be my own person. And I guess the way that I've been my own person is I don't just talk about Spurs. I talk about plenty of other things, outside of Spurs. I like just talking about football in general. I like being just a nerd, across European football. And I think that sort of helped me compliment Dave, is because when someone asks about a certain player or whatnot that maybe Spurs are interested in, like Malinowski or something, I happen to know who Malinowski is, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
So you're really knowledgeable, bro, about the whole, not just Spurs. I said, I definitely watch your Flatcap Euro stuff. I watch all your shows too, bro. And I do see the way you know your stats. Let's just put
But
it that way. Yeah, it looks
the
like
meaning is that I didn't shy away from like, I think my whole life I've been always a Spurs fan, but I've always watched a ton of other football, watched a ton of other
okay.
games, watched a ton of other players. And I think Dave, thankfully, has never stopped me from doing that. Like, in fact, I think that's sort of been my strength. It's been my strength in that that's who I am as a football fan. I like watching things outside of Spurs. I like studying tactics. I like looking at, I just can't get enough of it. And I think that's sort of like even Dave said, don't change yourself to become, don't try to mimic yourself after anybody. In fact, I've tried to just be a Spurs fan that happens to watch also a lot of other football. And I think that's weirdly, helped me with my opinions on things and whatnot.
Yeah.
Yeah. And one thing Jack actually doesn't get enough credit for, and look, I know I don't want to turn this into a big jerking circle where we're all, you get what I mean. But one thing I want to give Jack massive credit for, guys, as well, which he doesn't get enough credit for, is the stuff he does behind the scenes. Constantly looking how we can improve the content for the viewers out there, make it look cleaner, sharper, And look, Jack knows my brain works overtime. I could have 10 different ideas within an hour. And Jack, will sit there and fucking divvy them out, right? Let's get on to this one first and stuff like that. And Jack is really good on the technical side of things. And nobody knows it, but he doesn't get any credit for it. I don't even give him credit for it half the time, but he really does help the channel in that regard as well, technical side of things, and constantly, looking to improve the content in new ways. Since Jack's come on board, we've been able to vary the content from just doing debate shows and fan shows to a lot of other things. So hopefully it's paying off.
There you go, Jack. There you go, bro. Getting a little bit of credit.
I got some
Sometimes
jerk. I
it's
got
good to
some
hear
jerk
that stuff,
chicken
bro.
sauce in the fridge. I got some jerk chicken sauce in the fridge, so don't worry about it.
And then just quickly for me, the question was, what was it? Who inspired us or who helped us? Yeah, look, for me, I mean, I got to give massive credit to Matty Hayes. I really do. I mean, he seen me going on here talking to TV doing the fan shows, and then he reached out. I was doing shows with Matty, and Matty believed in me. But not only that, when I was going about starting this all up, and Jack knows, I'm absolutely technology retarded, and I don't like using that word, but people get what I mean when I say that. I'm not great with technology, and Matty really helped me get the bare bones of the channel together to be able to get it up and running.
Yeah.
Where Top TV has always been there for advice and helping me out with a number of other things as well along the way. So massive credit to them, but also credit to the fans, to the Spurs supporters. People who back myself and Jack. Massive credit to you guys because. Just seeing some of the nice comments. And look, I'm not saying, you have to do it all the time because you don't. But just the odd random nice comment is really nice at times. It gives you a boost. It makes you happy. If you're down, it picks you up. And the fact that everyone has got behind us, this channel would be nowhere near, we're just short of 8K subscribers. The channel would be nowhere near 8K subscribers if it wasn't for the guys out there who's passionately followed the channel. I mean, talking about, someone like Ellie, and I know there's a lot more, but I'll pull Ellie out as an example. Someone who plugs your stuff on social media without you asking. Someone that's plugging it in WhatsApp groups without you asking. It's just stuff like that. People that are checking in on you when you're not
in line for the fan show. People who sit in line for the fan show. You find people who, honestly, we've had fan shows where even when we're trying to get through people quickly and efficiently, so nobody has to wait too long or anything, you find people, waiting in the queue, an hour and a half, just to speak and just to speak to the Harris Army, just to speak to the Irish Hotspur and have their say. I think those people, honestly, Dave, like Ellie's a perfect example of that, deserve a huge shout out because clearly they want to just talk about Spurs. They want to just support the channel. They just want to speak with fellow Spurs fans, and they'll be willing to sit probably 10 hours in that chair if need be, in order to do it.
Yeah.
And I think that's insane. And Ellie is a perfect example, Dave, perfect example. But I don't know. There's so many Spurs fans that Dave and I have been like, wow, like, Ian Ferguson, Paul Osper, like Ben Kaufman, Dermot, etc. Kuva, so many different names. Philip Brady, so many that just sit there and they'll wait patiently and they'll give their say. And sometimes they'll come with like all this energy and it's like, it's like we've gone through 7 people. Like, how do you have this energy? It's I would say that's like the real support sometimes. In fact, I don't even know if I would be able to do that myself. So that's how much I kind of even admire it, I would say.
Yeah. Well, thanks you guys for sharing that. I have a quick question too. Has there been any embarrassing moments for you guys? Irish?
Do you know what, man? I'll be honest. I don't tend to really get embarrassed if I'm being honest. I mean, I just don't. For me, I am the way I am. I'm 30 years of age now. I'm never going to change. You either like me or you don't. And for me, I don't get embarrassed. Look, that's more for other people to pick out, or my most embarrassing moments of that. But for me, I don't find anything I do embarrassing. Look, other people's might, even some of my family members might find what I'm doing on YouTube embarrassing. I don't know. But for me, look, I can only support Spurs one way, and that's with passion. If people find it embarrassing, that's on them, but I don't.
Okay. Flatcap Euro, do you kind of just diddle that?
I think I echo that. Maybe the one time, just for like a funny inside story, I think one time we had Brian Daigle, Kuva, Dave, and myself, and I think this was after, the Saudi, takeover of Newcastle, and I think we found ourselves like talking for like 30 minutes in the back end or something like that, and it was still live, or something like that. So
you guys thought you were off?
I think, the big thing.
That was my fault.
I'll give you the inside scoop. The whole thing we just deleted it for it was because after being a host of being super neutral the whole time, I was super neutral, like, giving everybody these, very kind of, like interesting debate questions. After that whole thing, I mean, honestly, guys, that was a very political time period. That Saudi takeover and whatnot, all these people giving political questions and whatnot. I remember after it, I was like, whew, you know, and I think, you know, I just, you know, that's what it was.
That's when the real shit came out, huh?
It was for me. It was literally just me. It was literally just me. Like, I think I even like popped, you know, like a cigarette out, and I was just like, guys, like, this was a hard one. Like this, and I just said that all on camera. I was like, guys, this was a tough one. You know, I don't know if I can do that again. And then Dave was like, shit, Jack, you're live. And I was like, guess, you know, we're gonna delete that one. So that
Thanks
was
for sharing. See, that's what I was trying to go for with asking this question, was to
Yeah.
just get a laugh and get some exclusive shit there.
just me. It was literally just me complaining. It was me complaining about hosting. That's what it was. It was me complaining about hosting
Okay.
for about 20 minutes. You know, that's what.
Is it still available, or did you say you guys deleted it?
I made the executive decision, you know, to delete it. You know, and
To
it
pull
was
the plug.
and
Yeah.
like I said, I don't know if you guys remember. It was like a time period where everybody was like, you know, would you take over Spurs? You know, would you want Spurs to have a Saudi takeover? You know, instead of Levy? You know, it was all these really tough questions that I had obviously prepared and, you know, willingly put on myself. But I just remember after I was like, guys, like that was a tough one. You know, that's what we deleted.
It's one thing I don't like is when football turns political. You know, football is there for the enjoyment and stuff like that. Politics is politics. Football is there to get you away from normal life things. So I like it to be separated. When it turns political, it gets very fucking hard.
So at the end of the day, it was probably a good one to delete, because I remember we had a bunch of silly political conversations that just weren't necessary. And I remember then venting about it, and we were like, shit, guys, we're still alive. It's pretty funny.
Well, never doing that again.
No, yeah.
Oh, look,
Happens to all of us.
Parker, do you have any other questions? I just have like two more, so that's why you have any other different type of questions for these guys before we go down with the last two questions?
I mean, it's already an hour and a half in, so I know you have a couple of questions, but like, what do you guys do other than, you know, doing the podcast and follow Spurs? Like, do you guys do something outside, or
Jack, you can go first.
Is this full time for you guys? Is this what you guys do full time, or do you guys have do you guys have a life outside of YouTube?
We're trying to make it as full time as possible. Look, whether we'll ever get there, I'm not so sure. I mean, it's a dream. If it does, it does. If it doesn't, it doesn't. You know, I'll still do it. You know, I love talking to the fans. So for me, it doesn't really matter. Yeah. But look, me, you know, I'm a mechanic, so I fix
Nice.
you know, cars on the side if people come to me and stuff like that. And then look, me, I'm a family man. You know, I'm always over there helping out my parents. You know, my sisters if they need me and stuff like that. So
nice. What about for Flatcap Euro?
What am I interested maybe outside of, you know, this? I'm actually a big languages person. I guess Dave would know that. I speak German pretty well. I used to have really good Spanish, not so good, you know, I guess now, but I'm going to take Russian night classes here. So I would say that's kind of my second kind of interest, is like, I'm actually a big like language person. And like, I'm also a very good GeoGuessr player. If anybody plays GeoGuessr.
Oh, I love
I'm very good. Yeah. So I'm a big history nerd. I'm a big history nerd. I'm a big language nerd. If anything, I'm a big language nerd. In fact, if I didn't live with my girlfriend now, I would not be living in the United States. I'd be living somewhere in Germany, somewhere in Russia, somewhere like, because I'm very, I just don't really, I want to live somewhere that's not in the USA if it, you know, weren't right now.
Yeah.
So,
yeah,
that's what I was saying. Big history person, big language person. And that would be the fun fact about me. If I wasn't with my girlfriend right now, if I wasn't, you know, enjoying my lovely life, you know, in Brooklyn, I would say I would not be living in the USA.
Okay. So I have one question for one more question for Jack for Flatcap Euro, and then I have one for the Irish Hotspur here. You and Irish Hotspur, you kind of touched on this, and you have been touching on this all show. So again, I'll just ask you this question, and if you could just give us, you know, just whatever you want to, whatever your answer is, I guess, honestly, a short, long, however you want to go about it. But first of all, I start off with saying, Harris Army, how has your life changed since becoming the Irish Hotspur?
oh man, you're gonna make me cry. Yeah, you really are. Jack, you go first, my man. I'll be back in 1 sec.
Honestly, this is like the greatest thing to do in the world, I would say, lads. Like, mostly because I don't know, it's fucking hard work, and like, you know, there's not really a lot of things that do incentivize you other than like the love that you get from like the fans, you know, and things like that and whatnot. But that's what I would say is like having people genuinely show up every day to listen to your opinion, disagree with your opinion, give a like to your opinion, share your opinion to other people, and like just see the channel grow in the way that we have. And also just see the shit that like we've done. Like I've learned all these things that I'd never thought I would know how to do. Like I've learned how to, you know, run the watch alongs, you know, before, you know, I've learned how to, you know, present things in a different manner. Like I think what's just crazy is as much as we've had the fan base grow a lot, the people that have stuck around with us and have showed us support, Ellie, Welsh Gal, Zoe, Stewart right here, as we can see, Aaron Dubb, etc., Dermot. I mean, it's just so many names, and they're all just so important to us. But I would say like any of the OGs that have been around here a lot, like I first came in, all I was doing was just like bringing questions, you know, and asking Dave questions. Since then, you know, I think it's certainly, you know, developed absolute levels. And I'm actually just honestly, I don't know, Dave, the part that sort of makes me impressed is like some of the shit that I didn't think we would do like 6 months ago, like we're now doing, you know, like we're learning how to do all these things ourselves. We're learning how to, you know, kind of produce shows, you know, ourselves in a different way. Like I don't know, like it's so cliche, but genuinely like Dave and I are kind of like fucking hard on ourselves. Like we do like to improve, and we do like to, you know, like make something look better and, you know, whatnot. So I'm actually, I don't know, like sometimes when we're running the watch alongs, I'm like, holy shit, I'm running the watch along all by myself, you know, or something like that, you know. And I think moments like that have, you know, shown, because, you know, just a year ago, we were just running the watch alongs on StreamYard like this, you know, like, and people would just watch us, just watching the game, no timer, no nothing, no scoreboard, whatever. And now we're doing it with all these graphics. We're doing Stats with Jack with all these graphics and whatnot. And that's the part that's like where my life has changed, is it does feel like we're not being content. You know, we've actually taken it absolute levels, like levels that I never thought we'd be able to take it.
Look, I'm going to try and be as quick as possible. Might be a bit of a long-winded answer, but I'm going to try and be quick. Look, when I started this in lockdown, I was in a very, very bad place mentally, you know.
I wasn't laughing at you. Sorry, I was laughing at the comment.
Oh, no. I was in a very, very bad place mentally. You know, and you know, starting the channel, the support that I've gotten all has really helped. I haven't been too well the last few years either. Sorry, guys, I'll be back in a minute.
Sorry, Dave. You know. Big up to the Irish Hotspur.
I'm back now. I haven't been well the last few years either, you know, and everybody has really helped me through it. And I'm just going to leave it at that.
Big up, man. Big yourself up, bro. You've helped me out through some times too, bro. You know, if I'm honest with you, bro, the 5:30 games, I think I even mentioned this on your show, bro. Like, I wake up, bro, and I turn it on, bro. So it's definitely dope to hear you. What you do is definitely something positive, bro. So whatever your past is, dude, or whatever has gone on, or whatever you've been through, bro, like just know that you have people like us here that have your back. Look, man, a personal note, if there's any other way outside of this shit here, bro, that I could ever talk to you or be a part of, bro, you got my number, bro. Definitely. But I mean, dude, well, I appreciate you answering the question, bro, and I appreciate you, you know, just honestly telling the truth, bro. I'm glad to see you're in a better spot, bro.
No, I am. I'm in a much better place now. But I mean, you know, my life has completely changed since lockdown. Like I said, and Jack knows, you know, I'm in and out of hospital a lot and stuff like that. I'm just trying to get through a difficult time, and everybody out there really, really does help me mentally. You know, inspires me and stuff like that. So big up to all the Irish Hotspur army out there. You guys don't know what you've done to me, and you've changed my life.
Harris Army, baby, the Harris Army. Up the Harris Army. One final question, and this is for you, Jack. Let me just go ahead and pull it up here. How did Flatcap Euro come about?
I think it sort of came from Dave actually, for the most part, because Dave and I are partners, at the end of the day, and he and I are sort of in tandem. But Dave probably saw me, at moments, just being like, Jack, I can tell, you want to talk about, how much West Ham and the bubble blowers, are, shit in the bed, right now, I can tell, you want to talk about how that Darwin Nunez, transfer is going to fail, is going to flop. And so Dave sort of kind of just told me you could find, an avenue to, if you want, to sort of talk about what you still want to talk about. Cause like I said, guys, as much as I'm finding myself talking about Spurs, for hours and hours and hours, I still want to talk about more football. I still want to talk about, various other clubs, various other teams, what's going on, etc. And, Dave just sort of said, don't be afraid to still talk about what you want to talk about. And he gave me that platform to do it. I think I wanted to do it, but I think I was sort of either too intimidated, didn't think people would actually support it, didn't think people would actually give a shit about it, etc. And I don't know, it actually originally came from Dave. And as much as, it has been my sort of baby, in a way, it actually originally came from Dave, because I wouldn't have done it without Dave telling me or even noticing. I think that's the part, noticing that I wanted to do something like that, noticing that, that is, I just can't get enough of football. I can't get enough of talking about it. And so sort of actually originally came from Dave. And then from there, he obviously gave me plenty of advice, and he gave me the best sort of advice, especially about being able to get started right away on the right foot. I think we all make a ton of mistakes, or at least do something, differently, at the beginning of the YouTube, but having obviously someone like Dave right next to speak to about it was exceptional, and obviously the best help I could have ever got. But just to answer the question, it actually originally came from Dave, funny enough.
Yeah. Well, look, you guys, it has been a fucking pleasure to sit here and just get to know you guys. I know I talk to you guys via chat on your shows, inside the WhatsApp group. Like each other's comments and stuff like that. But I hope now from this day forward, like I told you, David, if ever there's a time you ever just want to chat or something, bro, it's definitely two ends of the time cycle. But dude, I'll welcome your messages. I'll welcome your call whenever it is. Just like I would expect you guys for my call, and for Parker's too. Jack, it's been a pleasure to talk to you, my man. It's been a pleasure to get to know the Irish Hotspur and Flatcap Euro. Yeah, you guys definitely have brought something to the stream that we haven't had before. And I would like to hope that, this is a type of show that you guys haven't really been a part of, in the past. So it's definitely, by the way, I just flipped my cap around. I wanted to go with the Wesley Snipes instead of the frontward. You know what I mean?
We never get to do this. We never get to do this. As you could probably tell, Leo, we never get to do this. And it's not really rehearsed. I don't think David have been able to do this enough to even rehearse it. So it was very much our raw sort of reactions, or natural, sort of reactions.
Well, and that's what I was going for. Bro. All I did was tell you, hey, I got some questions, a little bit personal. You know what I mean? A little bit about about you guys first, and then about your YouTube stuff going on. But I linked your guys' channels, your guys' social media down at the bottom. Flatcap Euro, what's going on with you and your channel? Where can people find you? If for some odd reason they don't know about you, where can they find you and what you got going on, brother?
I would just say, everybody, check out the stream I did today on Flatcap. I spoke with Darius and I spoke with, Kieran, and we basically just spoke about all of our rivals, Liverpool, West Ham. Who else did we have in there? That, Aston Villa and whatnot, and just how much, they're just basically, crumbling, and how much, they're struggling, just talking about all the teams, that are pretty much shit in the bed right now. And if that sounds kind of interesting to you, maybe good therapy as a Spurs fan, check out that conversation. I'm pretty sure you enjoy it.
Yeah. Irish Hotspur.
I would say maybe plug the Irish Hotspur as well, since I'm here. Check out our, podcast, doing it once a week. I know people are used to the live shows, but Dave and I are doing, our, 50-minute takes. We're going to keep it under an hour just for your guys' sake. Just for your guys' sake, we'll keep it under.
He's lucky. Sometimes mine and Jack's conversations over Tottenham are 3 hours long. So
exactly.
Yeah.
Thank you. But I'm pretty sure, at least I got some texts and whatnot that people really enjoyed that, that they liked, because we love, speaking to the Harris Army. We love, having the live shows. We love listening to people, above and below us on a panel like this. But if you wanted to hear just Dave and I chat about what we want to talk about, we had that podcast just come out.
I just want to say to everybody as well, make sure you smash the subscribe here and the like button as well. These two boys are anyone that wants to come out and take themselves from behind the screen and put their whole basically life on display and open themselves up like that. It's not an easy thing for anybody to do. So guys, make sure you get behind these boys. I'm a big advocate again behind any Spurs channel there is out there. You have seen YouTube for years, United, Liverpool, they've always dominated with their fan channels. So it's great to see so many Spurs fan channels out there now. And these two boys are incredible. Leo, I've had my back on other streams when people have asked me, but you got me today, brother. I'm sorry to everybody for out there crying, but I just realized how blessed I am, and that's all it is at the end of the day.
Bro, don't apologize, man. Don't apologize. Just know that you got a fucking butt ton of people that love you, bro, and a lot of people that count on you, my man. So sorry to put the weight on your shoulders, but it wouldn't be the same without you, Irish Hotspur. So big yourself up, my homie.
Shows you got good questions from one person with good questions to another. Shows you got good questions, Leo. Well done, my friend. A good show.
Thank you, guys. Irish Hotspur, do you want to plug your show real quick, brother?
Yeah, look, you guys can find me over at the Irish Hotspur. We'll be back tomorrow. We've got a debate show tomorrow evening for sure. And then Friday, we'll have a fan show out there on Friday, and then the watch along at the weekend. So that's the Irish Hotspur. But guys, Mile High Spurs, credit to the two boys. I've had an absolute cracker here this evening. Really enjoyed it. So thank you for having me. And everybody get behind these two boys. Big yourselves up, lads.
Right on, thank you. And just before we sign off, you guys,
Thanks,
I wanna highly invite everybody to, like my homies down here said, like and subscribe to our wonderful channel. If you guys haven't already, go over to THFC Till I Die. Support them. United Spurs of America, the three Spurs boys. At Digital Spurs, he's a wonderful maker of edits, contents. You guys can check out all his stuff. Anybody that's doing Tottenham related stuff, guys, get behind them. Show them love. Subscribe to their channels. We're one big family, and it's got to stay like that. As for Parker and myself, we're two lads that love to talk about Spurs. We have 2 podcasts a week, and it's too good to miss. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. We appreciate you guys. Thanks for tuning in.
Peace, guys.
All right.
Come on, Spurs.